Well, there are paintings and then there are paintings. The major painting of my entire life, I did a crucifixion. And it took me 2 years to paint. It was a transforming painting. It hung in Roswell Street Baptist Church for many years. And my pastor in St. Simon's has just asked me in November if I would show the painting at his church and speak on the crucifixion. So that would be the outstanding painting of my life. Yeah. And Susan Gardner, who I'm and her long-suffering husband Rito. She has been a dear friend, and she's been a student and an aggravation for years. and she's also accompanied me on a couple of trips to France. Yes.
I would urge you to doing a trunk line as Meredith did landscape, like still lifes, some would call that. You do still have still lifes and you do figurative, correct? You don't do landscapes.
Landscapes are just kind of.
Okay.
I'd like something with a little bit more. Yes, what was your question?
Well, so it was what drew you to doing still lifes?
To the trunk line?
Yeah, to the
Okay.
still life. And success?
Nobody
else was doing it at the time.
Okay, all of these stories are essentially local. I would drive down Austell Road, and on the right-hand side, depending on which way you're going, if you're headed toward Austell, on the right-hand side there was an old building that was abandoned. It had a rectangular window, and it may have been an antique shop at one time, but I would drive by and there was something that attracted me. And I don't know what it is, but I found out when you have a response to something. Well, hello there. How are you? Another artist there. When you have a response to something, you better check it out, because there may be something there that you can feed on. So one day I stopped and I looked, and in the window it had a wire from one side to the other in the middle, and it had 5 children's chairs. And I thought, and I sketched it, and I thought about it, and one day I started painting it. Well, I needed something to put in there, so I think I put a painting of you in there. Yeah, an icon. Yeah, I put that painting in there, and I put in. You may remember Garner, the artist in Kennesaw. What was his name?
Garner?
Pardon? Garner?
Lee Garner.
Lee Garner. Okay. Lee Garner had an antique shop, and he had a bronze statue of an Egyptian sitting on a classic head or something. And I put that on one side, and then I put in 1 or 2 other things. And when I got through with it, something was missing in the middle. And of course, what it was subconsciously, it was missing the wire. So I signed it right across. I put antiques in red on the glass. And then I put J. Robert Meredith right in the middle, just as like it would be the owner of the antique shop, and framed it in some hardwood. And that was my first trunk Lloyd painting. I didn't know at that time I was doing trunk Lloyd. But that matured. I did another 1 or 2, but it still hadn't dawned on me what happened. Brenda and I moved to New Jersey. Now, things back in the early 80s were not really cooking in the art world. And I knew I had to do something to jumpstart my career because I couldn't get my prices up. I was just dying, and I wanted to do more. We sold our house, and I said, I'm going to move to the New York area. I studied it. I said, that's where the art's going on. We sold our house so that there'd be no turning back. I went up there and I spent a summer looking for a house. Finally bought a house I had drawn a circle 50 miles from the center of Manhattan. And I said, I'm going to live within this area. And we found a home. We stayed there a dozen years. And one day, and I would go to Manhattan all the time, go in the galleries, look at art, go in the museums, and all the time I was painting. And one day, I went to the Alexander Gallery, and I'd never been there before, and I walked in the door, and a lady said, did you come to see the paintings, or did you buy the toys? And I said, well, I came to see the paintings, where are the toys? And I went upstairs and turned left into this amazing room that was absolutely full of the greatest antique toys in the entire world. These were the creme de la creme of the collector world. Thousands and thousands of dollars worth of antique toys. And of course, with antique toys, you've got color. You've got expressions. They're fun. You've got a patina. They've been played with, and they've got worn off edges, and they something tangible. And the second I saw them, I understood them. You know, I guess that's the way that Beethoven felt when he saw the first piano. It was just, I understood antique toys. They spoke to me. And so I got on the bus, and I would always take the bus. You can't park in New York, so it's really done to take a car. I got back on the bus that evening, and I carried my sketchbook with me. And I made a square, and I wrote toys, and then I put my name across the middle, and then I did a few little lines that represented toys. And I went home, and I painted my first toy painting. And I took it back to that gallery, and I sold it. The first painting I sold in New York City, I sold that painting in that gallery. And that got me started, and he became a good customer. And that got me started in that gallery. So that's how I got into Trump Lloyd. It was a very organic type of thing. I didn't know I was doing it. I didn't mean to do it, but I always painted representationally. And because I did, it was just a natural fit. And suddenly, I had painted the frame on the canvas around my painting. And so that became a part of my work. So you'll see the same thing in my paintings, where I paint the frame around the painting, and I incorporate the frame as part of the painting. For example, this, you may think I picked that up at a yard sale, but the painting, the frame, I painted for the painting, and so I try to incorporate the whole work of art as a unit. The frame, the painting, and I want to have the trompe l'oeil. The trompe l'oeil to me is like the rhyme and the meter of a poem. It's what the framework that you build your painting on. Now I've got one story to tell here, because it's such a great story. My son, I did a painting of my son just about every year on his birthday. I was seeing him as a cute little booger.